Hi guys, a rainy day outside, so I'm looking at things I can do indoors. Another look at the KRATAX battery, the lithium ion. They have a circuit board in the top that limits the output or regulates the output to 1.5 volts. So even though the actual battery itself is around 4 volts, 3.6 up to about 4.2, depending on whether it's freshly charged or not, it gives a constant output of 1.5 volts, or at least it does when it's working. This one was 40. Took it apart, had a look at the actual circuit board. Nothing obviously wrong with it, but connecting it up, we're not getting the 1.5 volts from the center tap there. So I've spent a bit of time on that. We could try and go even closer and measure the individual components, but I'm never going to be able to repair it, so I'm not going to bother anymore. Another video I did was looking at whether we could drop the voltage just using diodes to drop it down to something I could use maybe on my solar rockers. They only want about 1.2 volts. So using a diode, we drop the voltage by 0.2 of a volt per diode. So we'd need about 15 of them to drop it by 3 volts to go from the from the 4 volts down to 1 point something volts. So that was a bit of a fail. But then I remembered I've got loads of these in a drawer. They are DC to DC converters. In fact, I've got some smaller ones which I couldn't find that are just a flat circuit board. This one's got some bigger components on it. I don't know what this will drop it down to. So rather than me spending time trying to find the original listing for it and see what it actually says, we'll just connect it up and see what we can drop it down to. There's a variable potentiometer just there, variable resistor, so we can adjust it. So that's what we're going to do. I'll take my leads off there because that's not going to be any use. I'll solder them directly onto here and we'll see what we can drop the voltage to. So if you haven't seen the setup before, that's our lithium ion battery. These are dummies. I'm just using that as a convenient holder. Got JST leads on it. I've now soldered them onto the DC to DC converter. So if we stick this here somewhere, which way around? Okay, dropping it to 3.6 volts at the moment. So we're going in with 4 volts, out 3.6. Let's just turn this. We are down to 1.2 volts now, 1.247. Go a little bit further. I think we're about as low as we're going to go. Yeah, not getting any lower now. We've probably turned it to its maximum. So about 1.25 volts. I'll just see if I can go any further. But I suspect we've gone to the limit. Yeah, we're not going any lower now. So we're dropping it from 4 volts down to 1.2. That might be enough, because what I was thinking of doing was just running one of my solar rockers off it. That'll probably, yeah, that'll be more than enough voltage for a solar rocker. And then the question is how much power is being used up here as to how long it'll actually run off that battery. I will set one up and we'll have a look. All looks a bit complicated now because of the way that I've rigged it up. So we've got the lithium-ion battery there coming through to the DC to DC converter. That was dropping it to about 1.2 volts, but I've actually added a diode in there to drop it a bit further. So according to this, we're running on 0.8, or we were till I moved the connector. Yeah, 0.8, thereabouts. If I, where are we? Take the positive lead. Right. On there, yeah, that's our 1.248, which is what the DC to DC converter is dropping the 4 volts down to. And then if we go on the other side of the diode, we are down to 0.8. So this time that diode is dropping it by about half a volt, from 0.24 down to, sorry, from 1.24 down to 0.8. And our little solar rocker is quite happy. He would have been all right on the 1.2 volts, I think, but I just thought I'd play safe and drop it a little bit further. So he is now running on 0.8. So take some of this stuff out of the way. You'll probably stop. That is rather over the top for what we actually need. We could probably have just used a single little voltage regulator to do it. But he's now happy. I'll see if I can tuck that up in here somewhere out the way, then I'll put him back on the shelf. Back in his home position. So if you really want to know how he's getting on, you'll have to look at my daily good morning video short that I put up every morning, which features him and the other odds and ends and the weather. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave us a comment so I know how I'm doing. And somewhere up here there'll be some links to related playlists. Thanks again.